Hey, what's up? After helping thousands of home bakers make better sourdough bread, I have put everything into one video. Watch this one video and you will finally master sourdough bread. It's not too complicated. You can do it. Let's get into this, shall we? In a medium-sized bowl, add 7 grams salt, followed by 240 gram water. This consider a lower hydration dough. Hydration level depends on the flour you are choosing to bake with. If you are a beginner, don't go for higher hydration. But if you want higher hydration, you need to invest on a good bread flour. 70 gram active starter, the main ingredients of any sourdough bread recipe. I put the link of how to make and take care of sourdough starter in the description. You can check it out later. Lastly, 350 gram bread strong flour. This bad boy I'm using contains 13% protein. Mix all the ingredients together until you have a shaggy dough and there is no more dry spot. With a clean hand, turn the bowl, and with the other hand, you can mix the dough. It's a mess now, but don't panic. Clean up your hand with the help of a scraper. Cover it up and let it rest for 30 minutes. Can I borrow this to take out my breads out of the oven? This is the result of my perfect oven adjustment that I'm going to talk about that later on this video. Let's back to the recipe. Alright, now listen to me carefully. First thing first, keep a bowl of water close to you because from now on, every time we touch the dough, we're going to wet up our hand to make the job easier. And now, let me show you this. 30 minutes later, wet up your hand again. And without doing anything to this dough yet, that's the magic of time, my friend. And of course, the strong flour. I just grab the dough, use the gravity, and maybe round the dough up. You can bring it on the surface and let the surface to help you create more tension. Clean up a bit. Grab the dough a couple of times, put it back. And now I'm going to round the dough inside the bowl. In this stage, if your dough not comes together at all and it's a sticky dough, it's just about flour. Maybe next time you need to reduce the hydration to 60% or invest on a good bread flour. Another 30 minutes rest. 30 minutes later, wet up your hand again. You can do the stretch and fold or wet up the surface or oil up the surface, bring the dough on the surface, few slap and fold. Do whatever suits you. And then I'm gonna round it up one more time. That's the easiest thing to do. Do you see how gorgeous and smooth it is? Obviously, it's not gonna stick to your hand either. So into the bowl, this time I'm gonna let it rest for 45 minutes. And that's really it. Was it difficult? Not at all, right? 45 minutes later, to make sure everything is set, I'm going to wet up the surface slightly with the help of a sprayer. Bring the dough on the surface. Check out the gluten network, my friend. And go under the dough. Try to spread the dough as much as you can without tearing it, of course. As might some of you knows, this is called lamination. And now time to fold the sides to the center, overlapping each other, and the other two sides as well. This process not just help the dough strength, but give you an evaluation of how the gluten developed during this time and how smooth and elastic it is your dough, which if you have done everything correctly by now, must be something like this. Give it a kiss to show appreciation into the bowl, and I'm gonna let it rest for another 45 minutes. This is another dough with even 20% whole wheat. And everything is the same because I have chosen the right hydration. So even mix of flours not gonna bother you. 45 minutes later, to make sure everything is perfect, I'm gonna give this dough a set of coil fold too. This is totally optional. You can skip it if you think your dough is strong enough. The finishing dough should look like this. Beautiful. Another important factor you need to consider is temperature. My room temperature is around 26 to 27 degrees Celsius. The ideal temperature for both your dough and your starter to rise properly is something between 27 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. That's why proofer box exists. If you're living in very cold climate, you need to invest on a proofing box or make one by yourself. Get one of these. You can let the dough rise inside the oven with the light on. You can also use another bowl of boiling water beside this dough if your room is freezing cold. You might live in different climate. Your starter might be more or less strong than my starter. But don't worry, because there are some signs you can follow to see if the bulk fermentation is done or not. Let's check them out. In this high temperature, I'm aiming for 30 to 40% rise. You see lots of bubbles and fermentation going on here. The dough has the dome-shaped top. And let me show you this. The dough also pulls away from the side of the bowl easily. Especially the dough with such a low hydration, it's not going to be that sticky. It's puffy and airy, and the surface of the dough not going to stick to your hands. Mostly the higher hydration are a bit jiggly when you shake the dough. And if I hold the bowl upside down, the dough going to release like a piece of cake. On a slightly wet surface, I'm going to fold all the sides to the center, flip the dough, and round it up one more time with the help of the surface. And this is called pre-shaping. That's going to make the final shape even easier. 20 minutes uncover on the counter. I'm going to use a little bit of flour, flip the dough again, and let me show you a very simple final shaping. If you're a beginner, I recommend you to think about the simplest shaping method that suits you. Of course, it takes some practice. It's not a non-stick dough, of course, but with little bit of flour should be totally handleable. If it's not look like this, not holding its shape at all, maybe you need to go back and check everything one more time. Maybe you made some mistakes somewhere, mostly related to the flour and hydration level. Right away, I can transfer my dough into the fridge. If the temperature was below 25 degrees Celsius, you can let it proof on the counter for a couple of minutes, maybe up to 1 hour sometimes, and then transfer it into the fridge for overnight proofing. The next beautiful morning, have you seen my new babies yet? These are beautiful. Firstly, in the morning, I'm going to preheat my oven at highest temperature with the top and bottom heat for at least 30 to 40 minutes. And here is my oven adjustment. I'm using one baking steel and an upside down tray, and another extra pan on the bottom to pour boiling water later and create lots of steam. If you don't have baking steel, don't worry about it. Just use 2 upside down tray. First 20 minutes, we're gonna trap the steams on the bottom rack under the baking steel and then transfer them on the upper rack to let them get some color. Straight out of the fridge, it's not accurate, but I'm gonna check the poke test. On a baking mat or baking paper, start from the middle, go a bit lower than that, and finish it at the middle again. Scoring from this corner is totally wrong. It's not gonna give you that much spring. Think about one confident deep score to get maximum oven spring. And don't be like me, use the sharpest blade you have. But you can always come back and correct your scoring. Second time with lower pressure. Let me score another one. Oh, that was good. You get what I mean, right? This is how your doughs should look like after scoring. And they are still holding their shape. That's also very important. Inside the preheated oven with the help of pizza peel on a lower rack. Lots of boiling water to create lots of steam. Maybe 1 cup is enough. Shut the door quickly, bake at 230 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Move them to the upper rack. Look at the oven spring here, my friend. And now I'm gonna let them get some color for maybe 20 to 25 minutes. Beautiful. But this time I'm gonna reduce the heat to 210 degrees Celsius. And voila! The smell of fresh bread at your home and the feeling of success. I don't know anything better than this. With this oven adjustment, you can even bake 4 loaves at the same time. You can even run a micro bakery like this. Let's check the crust, shall we? The bottom also should sound hollow. Grab your favorite knife and let's cut into it. The moment of truth. I mean, look at it. This is how a well-fermented crumb should look like. Even holes with maximum oven spring. I guess that was it. You're welcome, my friend. And that was the only sourdough bread recipe you need. You can subscribe my channel and check out the rest of the videos. Like always, keep baking and take good care of yourself.